What is going on, my goofy little gamer goblins? My name is Greg, the goofiest of goblins, and I'm here today to read a little bit of manga. Now, maybe you've seen, floating around the old interwebs, a trend of videos where people will watch the first episode and the last episode of a TV show. After the first episode, they try to predict how the story's gonna go, and then they watch the last episode and see how accurate their predictions were. And I thought, I'm feeling like a devious little thief. And you know what they say? Good artists copy, great artists steal. But I wanted to put my own little bit of a twist on it, and so today we're going to be doing it with manga instead of TV shows, because it's easier to get around copyright if I'm just showing the occasional panel instead of trying to edit around clips on YouTube. It's a whole thing. Anyway, I'm a big fan of manga. I do be reading it from time to time, as you maybe can tell from my collection in the background here. But there are a few notable series that I haven't read yet, and today I'm going to be checking some of those out. Editing Greg here, so that was a fucking lie. I only did this with one manga. Anyway, continue. And I'll read the first chapter. Just from the setup on the first chapter alone, I'll give my thoughts on what I think the end of the series is going to be like, and then we'll read the last chapter, and we'll see if I was right or if I was super wrong. Now, I am reading. I don't have the physical volumes. I'm just going to be reading off of the Shonen Jump app. Not sponsored, but I gotta say, it's a great app. Just for like $3 a month, you get pretty much access to Shonen Jump's entire catalog of manga, which is quite a lot of good stuff. So if you like manga, I definitely recommend checking it out. I just read all of One Piece on there. Fantastic series. There's probably a video about that coming out pretty soon. Anyway, let's get cracking into it. So before we even get started, what do I know about Bleach going in? Well, not very much. It's one of the big three, the only one of which I've read is One Piece. The main character's name is Ichigo. He's got a big old sword, and he fights ghosts or demons, some kind of soul things. That's really all I know. So I guess I'll get started, and we'll read chapter 1 of Bleach. Okay, that was chapter 1 of Bleach. Pretty interesting. So basically the general setup of the plot seems to be that there's this kid named Ichigo. He's 15 years old, and he can see ghosts. Seems like something that most of his family can do, but not his dad. His dad is a doctor, and his mom is dead, so classic anime trope there. So he sees ghosts, and he can interact with them, talk to them, all that stuff. And one night he comes into contact with what they call a soul reaper, which I guess is supposed to be like a grim reaper. They help souls move on to the afterlife. And they hunt hollows, which are like evil ghosts essentially that like try to eat people's souls or something. So he meets this soul reaper who is out hunting a particular hollow, and they end up coming in contact with this creature, and it attacks his family, maybe kills his dad. And the only way to defeat it is if Ichigo teams up with this Soul Reaper, who got their ass kicked, and absorbs their power, and he becomes a Soul Reaper himself. Temporarily, they're only meant to infuse half of the power into him, but I guess he gets all of it, so we'll see how that goes. And he squares up with the Hollow and seems like he's about to kick its ass, and now he's a Soul Reaper. That's pretty much the general gist of chapter 1. It's pretty interesting. As far as predictions go, I'm gonna go ahead and say he definitely becomes a permanent member of this Soul Society. I think that's pretty much a gimme. He's gonna be, maybe his mom has some kind of special connection to this Soul Society. And he'll find out more about her later. It'll be like a big twist of like, oh my gosh, my mom was secretly the most powerful of the Soul Reapers, and that's why I'm so special and powerful, because I can sense all kinds of crazy energies before even other Soul Reapers can. Like he's like gonna be some kind of special chosen one type of character. I predict that this other Soul Reaper that he meets in the first chapter, I forget her name, I predict that she's going to die at some point. I don't know why. I just get the feeling that she's going to set him up on his journey, and then she'll die tragically at some point throughout the story. Clearly, we have not met the main villain yet. I've heard the name Aizen and Yawatch. I've heard those names before. I don't know who those are. I assume they're villains though. They seem villainous just from, I think I've seen like clips on TikTok or whatever of like anime edits that have those characters. So I think those are bad guys for sure. I'm not sure who like the main villain or the final bad guy is going to be, but I imagine they'll be defeated. I don't know. I feel like it's hard to make predictions with so little to go off of, but I imagine Ichigo is going to become a lot more powerful, and through regular shonen protagonist means, he's going to end up squaring off. Maybe he'll team up with a bunch of other Soul Reapers and maybe some Hollows. Could end up joining the squad, the main cast, and they end up fighting whoever the big bad is at the end, and he wins and walks off into the sunset, and he ends up with one of the other Soul Reapers romantically. Not this one from the beginning though, because she dies, but a different one that he meets at some point he ends up with. That is my prediction. Other than that, I have no idea. We'll see how it ends, I guess. I'm reading chapter, let's see, what's the last chapter? 686. Let's jump into it. We'll see what happens. Okay, I just finished the last chapter of Bleach, and I gotta say, I have no idea. That seemed like a really weird and abrupt ending, but that's probably because I have no context for what was going on there. I was wrong about the Soul Reaper from the beginning dying, because I'm pretty sure she's in this last chapter. They're all gathered together watching like a boxing match of some guy named Chad that they all know, which, you know, fitting. He's, I guess, the most famous of them. They defeat Yawatch, presumably at some point prior to this, and the remnants of his power disappear. Then I don't know, man. I'm honestly having a hard time comprehending what even happened there. A bunch of other Soul Reapers were running around looking for this last drop of power, and then Yawatch is inside of it, and he gives like a last speech about, oh, it would have been great if death and life were combined together, but you stopped it, Ichigo. So I was right about Ichigo stopping it. And it seemed like that was kind of flashing back, like the boxing match takes place present day, and this is like flashing back to the end of whatever that fight was, is what it seemed like. And then some kids meet each other that are assumably significant. Man. Anyway, that was weird. Let me know how accurate I am with any of this, or if nothing I'm even saying makes sense. And let me know if there's any other series out there that you'd like me to do this with. Maybe I should read the whole first volume and the whole last volume. It would give me some more context for what the hell I'm talking about, because I really had nothing to go off of here. I feel like my predictions kind of were nothing, and I ended up learning nothing. I honestly don't even know if I was right about half of the things I talked about. But, you know, trying a new video format, so if this is something you want more of, leave it in the comments. Let me know if there's any series you'd like me to check out. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.